This is the truth about one of the most popular health claims circulating online right now, and why believing it could actually put your health at serious risk. Spend any time on Facebook or YouTube these days and you'll run into videos with titles like 1 teaspoon a day clears blood vessels fast, or this simple drink unclogs arteries overnight. Millions of people have watched these videos. Olive oil gets called a miracle cure in some of them, while others point to apple, cider vinegar, garlic, honey, or lemon juice, and a few promise that mixing everything together creates some kind of super remedy that mainstream medicine has been hiding from you. What I'm going to do in this video is walk through each of these ingredients, one by one, and show you exactly what the medical research actually says about them. Some of these ingredients do offer legitimate health benefits, and I want you to understand what those are. But I'm also going to explain why the dramatic claims about clearing or unclogging your arteries are medically impossible, and why acting on them could lead you toward dangerous decisions about your health. Let me tell you straight up what the experts say. Dr. Gael Mintz, who directs cardiovascular health at Sandra Atlas Bass Heart Hospital, puts it bluntly: there is no magic elixir we can take to unclog our arteries. Researchers at Johns Hopkins came to the same conclusion after reviewing all the available evidence. We found no evidence of benefits to cardiovascular disease. Supplements were ineffective and unnecessary. With that in mind, let's dig into why these claims have such appeal, and then we'll cover what the science says actually works. Section 1. Why these claims are medically impossible. Before we get into specific ingredients, you need to understand what's really happening inside your arteries, because once that clicks, you'll immediately see why no food on earth can clear them. The condition at the center of all this is called atherosclerosis, and it develops over decades through a biological process that's anything but simple. Damage to the inner lining of your arteries from high cholesterol, high blood pressure, smoking, or diabetes triggers your immune system to respond with inflammation. White blood cells rush to the injury site, where they consume cholesterol and transform into what doctors call foam cells. These foam cells die off and pile up, eventually forming fatty streaks that harden over time into calcified plaque containing fat, cholesterol, calcium, and cellular debris. And here's what you absolutely need to understand: that plaque becomes part of the arterial wall itself, embedded in the tissue of your artery. It's not debris floating around in your blood waiting to be washed away by drinking something. About half of people between 45 and 84 have atherosclerosis and don't even know it, according to Cleveland Clinic. Diseases connected to this condition rank as the leading cause of death in the United States and around the world. Even aggressive medical intervention cannot fully reverse plaque. Dr. Juan Carlos Rozo, a cardiologist at Houston Methodist, explains it this way: plaque buildup cannot be fully reversed. It's a reality that emphasizes the importance of preventing atherosclerosis in the first place. Proven medical treatments can slow the process down and achieve modest reduction, and that's about it. Cleveland Clinic's Asteroid trial showed that statin therapy can shrink plaque by 6 to 24%, but only when LDL cholesterol drops below 70 milligrams per deciliter. The Clogged trial combined statins with PCSK9 inhibitors and achieved plaque regression in 64% of patients, as compared to 47% with statins alone. Early-stage fatty streaks may be partially reversible according to the National Institutes of Health, but advanced calcified plaque may not respond completely to any currently available therapy. Harvard Health sums it up clearly: while your efforts may halt plaque formation and even shrink it, the plaque probably never disappears. Knowing all this, when you see a video promising that 1 teaspoon of anything will clear your arteries fast, you can recognize why that's biologically impossible. Videos like that come from people who either do and understand cardiovascular biology or are deliberately trying to mislead you. Section 2. Olive oil real benefits. Exaggerated claims. Olive oil appears in these viral videos more than almost any other ingredient, and it actually does provide legitimate cardiovascular benefits, which is what makes it such an effective hook for misinformation. Viral posts claim things like 1 teaspoon a day clears blood vessels or that olive oil can reverse heart disease. Reality paints a more nuanced picture. Olive oil delivers meaningful cardiovascular benefits through gradual risk reduction over years, not through any kind of artery clearing mechanism. The study that matters most here is called the PREDIMED trial, which followed 7,447 participants for about 5 years and found that a Mediterranean diet supplemented with extra virgin olive oil reduced major cardiovascular events by 30%. That's a meaningful benefit worth knowing about. But here's what those viral videos conveniently leave out. Participants in that study consumed roughly 4 tablespoons of olive oil daily, not 1 teaspoon, which represents a massive difference in actual intake. Harvard tracked 93,000 participants over 24 to 28 years. Through cohort studies, and the data showed that consuming more than half a tablespoon daily was associated with 14 to 21% lower cardiovascular disease risk and 19% lower all-cause mortality. Mayo Clinic confirms that olive oil reduces inflammation, supports healthy blood vessel function, and lowers LDL cholesterol. But here's the detail that changes everything. These benefits only materialize when olive oil substitutes for less healthy fats in your diet, not when you add it on top of what you're already eating. Medical News Today states it plainly. There are no specific foods or treatments that can reverse atherosclerosis. For those of you considering adding more olive oil to your diet, there are some things worth knowing, especially if you're taking certain medications. A single tablespoon packs about 120 calories and 14 grams of fat, which means adding olive oil without cutting back on other fats could lead to weight gain. Weight gain actually increases cardiovascular risk. Anyone taking warfarin should maintain consistent olive oil intake rather than suddenly ramping up consumption, because olive oil contains vitamin K, which affects how that medication works. Blood pressure and diabetes medications may produce enhanced effects when combined with olive oil, so monitoring becomes more necessary. The bottom line on olive oil is straightforward. It's a healthy fat that belongs in your diet and offers real cardiovascular benefits when it replaces less healthy fats. But it cannot clear your arteries, and 1 teaspoon won't accomplish much of anything. Section 3. Garlic modest effects. Not a medication replacement, garlic shows up constantly in these viral remedy videos. And like olive oil, there's a kernel of truth buried underneath a mountain of exaggeration. Meta-analyses combining data from multiple research projects indicate that garlic supplements may reduce systolic blood pressure by 5 to 10 millimeters of mercury in people who already have hypertension, which is comparable to the effect of some medications. Central Review estimated that this blood pressure reduction could theoretically cut cardiovascular event risk by 16 to 40%. What they also found, and this matters, is that roughly 30% of study participants showed no response to garlic at all, with individual B vitamin status affecting how well it works for different people. And that's where the viral claims start falling apart. Cleveland Clinic led the 2022 sport trial that put garlic supplements directly to the test, and the results told a very different story. Garlic supplements produced no reduction in LDL cholesterol compared to placebo. Low dose rosuvastatin, a statin medication, slashed LDL by nearly 38% in the same trial. Cleveland Clinic's assessment leaves no room for ambiguity. They acknowledge some evidence suggesting garlic can lower blood pressure, but not enough to justify taking supplements. Dr. Ashish Sarayu of Cleveland Clinic puts it directly. The data is not strong enough to recommend garlic supplements in a clinical setting. What is garlic actually good for then? Texas Tech University's Christina Peterson summarized the American Heart Association's position this way. Garlic definitely has a place in healthy dietary patterns, and while it may not deliver really meaningful health benefits on its own, it belongs in healthy mixed diets. Translation: garlic makes healthy food taste better, which means you're more likely to eat healthy food. Here's where this gets especially serious for those of you on medications. Over 180 medications interact with garlic according to drugs.com. Blood thinners like warfarin, aspirin, and Plavix, combined with garlic, ramp up your bleeding risk considerably. 2 weeks before any surgery, garlic supplements need to stop. HIV medications present an even bigger concern. NIH research documented that garlic reduced blood levels of saquinavir by 50%, potentially making the treatment completely ineffective. Garlic paired with diabetes medications can trigger excessive blood sugar drops, and combined with blood pressure medications, it can cause dangerous drops that lead to dizziness or fainting. The bottom line on garlic is simple. Use it in your cooking because it's delicious, and fits well in a healthy diet. But don't take garlic supplements expecting them to clear your arteries or stand in for your heart medications. Section 4. Apple cider vinegar terrific in salad dressings. Not medicine, apple cider vinegar might be the single most overhyped health product on the internet right now. Listen to the stories circulating online, and you'd think it cures just about anything that ails you. Dr. Richard Lee, who served as associate editor of the Harvard Heart Letter, addresses these viral claims head-on. If you believe the stories written about apple cider vinegar, it is a miracle cure for just about anything that ails you. But there's no evidence to back up most of these apple cider vinegar claims. A 2023 meta-analysis examined 25 clinical trials involving over 1,300 adults and found that apple cider vinegar consumption reduced fasting blood glucose by approximately 21 milligrams per deciliter and total cholesterol by about 7 milligrams per deciliter. This count as modest effects, and they came from 15 to 30 milliliters consumed daily over 8 weeks or longer, not 1 teaspoon working overnight. The blood sugar benefit actually stands as the best supported claim. Dietitian Lindsay Wolford confirmed to the American Heart Association that this is the claim with the strongest backing. The claim that apple cider vinegar clears arteries? Zero evidence supports it. Cleveland Clinic says the research remains unclear on whether it even helps blood pressure, and most positive findings come from animal studies rather than human trials. As you get older, the risks from apple cider vinegar deserve attention. Tooth enamel takes a hit from the acidity, with one study documenting about 20% mineral dissolution after just 4 hours of exposure. Drinking it undiluted can burn your esophagus. Harvard warns that apple cider vinegar can deplete potassium, a condition called hypokalemia that triggers muscle weakness and abnormal heart rhythms. Anyone taking insulin should know that combining it with apple cider vinegar may drive blood sugar dangerously low. For those on digoxin or diuretics, the potassium depletion can reach dangerous levels. The bottom line on apple cider vinegar: it works great in foods, sauces, and dressings. It does not work as medicine. It cannot clear your arteries. Section 5. Honey, a special warning for diabetics. Honey appears in many of these viral remedy videos, usually combined with other ingredients, but the research on honey and heart health sends mixed signals at best. A 2022 systematic review found that raw honey from specific floral sources may modestly improve glycemic control and lipid levels within healthy dietary patterns. Then came a 2025 umbrella review covering 69 trials that uncovered something concerning. While 10 grams of honey daily may lower HbA1c, it adversely affects systolic blood pressure. For anyone managing diabetes, pay close attention here, Mayo Clinic stated in July 2025. Generally, there's no advantage to substituting honey for sugar in a diabetes eating plan. Both honey and sugar will affect your blood sugar level. Honey actually has slightly more carbohydrates and more calories per teaspoon than does granulated sugar. 1 tablespoon of honey delivers approximately 17 grams of sugar and 64 calories. 2 8-week clinical trials in type 2 diabetics found that honey actually raised HbA1c levels, meaning it worsened blood sugar control rather than improving it. Diabetic seniors consuming honey need to count carbohydrates carefully and work with medical guidance. That popular combination of apple cider vinegar and honey deserves extra scrutiny. A 4-week study on a grape vinegar and honey mixture found that it increased insulin resistance, which links directly to type 2 diabetes, and lowered HDL, your good cholesterol, thereby raising heart disease risk. Healthline assessment: very little is known about the effects of consuming them as a mixture. The bottom line on honey: it's a natural sweetener that works fine in moderation for most people, but it's still sugar at its core. It cannot clear your arteries, and diabetics need to approach it with particular caution. Section 6. Other viral ingredients and some dangerous ones. Let me run through some other ingredients that pop up in these viral videos, including a few that carry genuine danger. Lemon juice claims that lemon juice mixtures can remove blockages from heart veins have spread across Facebook, racking up over 1.6 million views. Dr. Manav Agarwal, an interventional cardiologist at Sanjeevan Hospital, addresses this directly. While lemon, ginger, garlic, and apple cider vinegar may offer some health benefits, they cannot reverse or unclog blocked arteries. They are not substitutes for proven medical treatments. Lemon juice does contain vitamin C and flavonoids with antioxidant properties, and it may deliver modest blood pressure benefits. The low pH erodes tooth enamel, though, and it can worsen acid reflux for those prone to it. Turmeric. Among all the viral ingredients, turmeric actually carries the strongest cardiovascular evidence. A 2019 study found that 12 weeks of curcumin at 2,000 milligrams per day improved vascular endothelial function by 36% in healthy middle-aged and older adults. The catch with curcumin is its extremely poor bioavailability, meaning simply increasing the dose doesn't increase how much actually reaches your bloodstream. High doses may elevate liver enzymes, and turmeric interacts with blood thinners. Cayenne pepper, a dangerous myth. This one requires a serious warning. Persistent myth claims that cayenne pepper can stop a heart attack. And this is flat out false and potentially lethal. Dr. Isuru Ranasinghe, a University of Queensland cardiologist, states plainly, there is no evidence to suggest peppers are useful to treat or stop a heart attack. A published case report actually documents a heart attack in a healthy 25-year-old triggered by cayenne pepper pills through coronary vasospasm. The pepper itself caused the heart attack. If you believe you're having a heart attack, call emergency services immediately. Do not reach for cayenne pepper. Baking soda, serious cardiovascular risks. Baking soda shows up in some of these videos, and it poses serious cardiovascular risks that warrant real concern. A single teaspoon of baking soda packs approximately 1,200 milligrams of sodium, which approaches nearly an entire day's recommended limit. Drugs.com warns that anyone with heart disease, kidney disease, or hypertension should avoid baking soda entirely. Blood pressure spikes, arrhythmias, metabolic alkalosis, and dangerous medication interactions all rank among the risks. Section 7. Why this misinformation is so dangerous. The stakes around this misinformation turn out to be enormous. Let me share some numbers that put this in perspective. Over 919,000 Americans died from cardiovascular disease in 2023, which works out to 1 in every 3 deaths. Cardiovascular disease claims a life every 33 seconds in the United States. The annual cost hits approximately $418 billion when you add up healthcare services, medicines, and lost productivity. Globally, cardiovascular diseases killed an estimated 19.8 million people in 2022, accounting for 32% of all deaths worldwide. Nearly 1 in 4 adults over 75 have coronary artery disease. And here's what makes prevention so urgent: the American Heart Association estimates that 80% of heart attacks and strokes are preventable through lifestyle modification and appropriate medical care. The heart health supplement industry reached nearly $11 billion globally in 2024 and is projected to hit somewhere between $17 and $28 billion by the early 2030s. Around 75% of Americans over 50 use at least one supplement regularly, with 29% taking 4 or more daily. The FDA does not evaluate supplements for safety or effectiveness before they reach store shelves. And that regulatory gap is exactly what viral health claims exploit. Dr. Stephen Neeson, who chairs cardiovascular medicine at Cleveland Clinic, labels dietary supplements 21st century snake oil. His words: patients believe studies have been done and that they are as effective as statins and can save them because they're natural. But natural doesn't mean safe, and it doesn't mean they're effective. Dr. Seth Martin of Johns Hopkins Medicine identifies why people gravitate toward supplements. Some people try supplements instead of prescription medications because they think it's a safer way to address health issues. But many of those supplements don't benefit the heart like people think. A 2025 meta-analysis found that 47% of older adults believe at least some health misinformation, nearly half the population in that age group. Research from the 2016 election showed older adults shared more fake news than any other age group. Studies confirm that exposure to health misinformation causes confusion and fear in seniors. The FDA has issued over 120 warning letters challenging health claims for supplements over the past decade. 7 companies received warning letters in November 2022 for illegally claiming their products could treat or prevent cardiovascular disease, including claims about helping clear out the bad cholesterol building up within arteries. Section 8. How to spot health misinformation. Before I cover what actually works, let me walk you through some red flags to watch for when you encounter health content online. Be skeptical when you see claims that single foods can clear, cure, or reverse serious conditions, because medicine almost never works that way. Specific dosing like 1 teaspoon creates false precision that real medical research doesn't support. Promises of overnight or rapid results should trigger immediate doubt, since cardiovascular health changes unfold over months and years, rather than days. Doctors don't want you to know framing signals misinformation almost every time. Testimonials standing in for clinical evidence represent another warning sign, because someone's personal story doesn't carry the weight of scientific research. Dr. Clogged. Dabhadkar highlights that vague language like supports immunity without clear evidence marks another red flag. Section 9. What actually works? What does science say actually reduces cardiovascular risk? The American Heart Association identified what they call life's essential 8, which represent the evidence-based steps that genuinely make a difference. First, eat better by focusing on whole foods. Fruits, vegetables, and lean protein. And use olive oil to replace saturated fats rather than adding it on top of them. Second, move more by aiming for 150 minutes weekly of moderate exercise or 75 minutes of vigorous exercise. Third, quit tobacco, which causes 1/3 of all heart disease deaths. Fourth, prioritize healthy sleep, meaning 7 to 9 hours for adults. Fifth, manage your weight toward a BMI under 25, which represents the optimal range. Sixth, control cholesterol, where statins remain the cornerstone treatment and deliver 30 to 50% LDL reductions. Seventh, manage blood sugar toward an A1C under 5.7%, which counts as normal. Eighth, manage blood pressure toward under 120/80, which represents optimal. The PREDIMED trial demonstrated that a Mediterranean diet cuts cardiovascular events by 30%, which rivals what statin therapy achieves. A meta-analysis of the DASH diet showed a 20% reduction in cardiovascular disease incidence and 21% reduction in coronary heart disease. These dietary patterns incorporate olive oil, garlic, and other ingredients we've discussed. But they work as components of comprehensive healthy eating rather than miracle cures swallowed by the teaspoon. Dr. Stephen Kopetsky, a preventive cardiologist at Mayo Clinic, addresses the underlying hope behind viral health claims. Patients a lot of times think, "Can I take this supplement so I don't have to exercise or eat broccoli?" And I'll say, there's no supplement that takes the place of lifestyle changes. Conclusion. Let me bring this back to where we started. Olive oil, garlic, and several other ingredients featured in these viral claims do carry documented health benefits, including anti-inflammatory properties, modest blood pressure effects, and antioxidant content. These ingredients belong in a healthy diet. The dramatic claims about clearing or unclogging arteries remain medically impossible. The real danger isn't eating garlic with dinner or drizzling olive oil on your salad. The danger lies in believing these foods can substitute for medications when you have serious conditions, or that 1 teaspoon of anything can undo decades of plaque buildup. Fact-checkers have concluded, heart disease is a complex medical condition that requires proper diagnosis, monitoring, and prescription treatment. Posts claiming that certain foods or spices can cure heart conditions are not only misleading but potentially harmful. The evidence-based path to cardiovascular health combines dietary patterns like Mediterranean or DASH eating with regular physical activity, tobacco cessation, and when needed, medications proven to reduce cardiovascular events. No teaspoon remedy shortcuts this reality. The good news is that these lifestyle changes can prevent the estimated 80% of heart attacks and strokes that are avoidable. If this video helped you understand these issues better, please share it with someone you care about. A lot of misinformation circulates out there, and helping each other find the truth is one of the best things we can do. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.